Oh, there it is. So apparently, I think the live chat went down. I apologize for the mess in the back. I'm moving stuff around. Um, Man, I look tired. I'm exhausted, which is great because that's going to lead into the topic that we're going to discuss. I'm going to give it a bit more just so we can get some more folks in here. Um, yeah, sorry. It seems on my end that the live chat is off because it says something went wrong and there's a monkey with the hammer. So, my bad. Um, yeah, let me see if this. But everybody can hear me, right? I think so. Yeah. All right. So, yep, yep. All right. Play. Let's get some extra views on this thing. Let me try on my phone if um, is the live chat on. Well, it doesn't show it on mine, so if it's on, my bad. Okay, I like the raccoon. Oh yeah. So real quick, Mandy, thank you. It's Ricky Raccoon. So since the live chat is off on my end, I'm just gonna go off. The difference between this one and then the previous ones is I actually took notes and I wrote them down. So I'm hoping to have it a little bit more organized instead of just kind of going all over the place. So I'm gonna put the audio down on my phone because I can hear my echo. All right, so Damas y Caballeros, welcome to another episode of Damas y Caballeros with yours truly, Ricardo Rodriguez. Um, just for those that are not aware of who I am or what I've done or who am I mean, I ain't anybody. I have been in the professional wrestling industry for the last 19 years. I am the co-owner of Three Legacies Wrestling here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, for the last 3 years. And I currently am back on the independent circuit. I did my time with WWE, which was amazing and awesome. But now I am a producer and on-air talent for Major League Wrestling. What I wanted to touch base on was something that I do feel that a lot of folks kind of go through in this whole wild, wacky world of professional wrestling, and that is that doubts, that idea of wanting to quit when things start getting a little tough, when things don't go according to plan, which is not just something that goes on the professional wrestling side, but also the business side, which is something that I've kind of gone into for the last 3 years. And as I started my own business with Real Life is Wrestling, um, it has been a very amazing and interesting roller coaster of a ride for the last 3 years. But and even more so, that roller coaster ride that led me into being here in Lancaster with the Real W. I do feel that as we go into this, and the two will merge. The two ideas of being a business owner and then a professional wrestler kind of merge because we're also a brand amongst ourselves, not just me as a business owner, but also Ricardo and Three Legacies. We're brands, and I think that oftentimes people, when they're chasing those goals and the sacrifice and then the definition of success, that oftentimes people have this idea of what the goal is and we glamorize it more so than what it is. I think that when you see the end results, when you see someone succeed, you don't always see the grind, you don't see the effort, you don't see the battles that come before it. And um and I think sometimes we get lost in that idea. um yeah, so a lot of people don't see the grind as a whole. And I think a lot of us get filled with that concept of doubt and that concept of neglecting our own feelings and then neglecting the people around us because we have this battle of, am I good enough, am I worthy of this, am I doing the right thing, what is this for, who is this for? And I'm gonna tell you from firsthand experience, especially the last 3 years since I've ventured into the side of business, that is a constant. That self doubt is constant. Um, that little voice that's in your head that's asking you if you're good enough, if this is even worth all of your efforts. And sometimes that voice gets so much louder than the cheers. It gets so much louder than the motivation. And when you don't have the people support you, it gets even louder and deafening when it just feels so much easier to just walk away. I will give examples of my personal internal battles that I'm constantly dealing with. um, because it's real. Because the temptation to just give up is real, and it happens constantly. Um, I think the reason for that though is because and I go back to what I said initially, is that we glamorize this dream and we glamorize this thought that I am going to start professional wrestling. Within 6 months, I will be a professional wrestler, or in some cases less or even more. And within a year from that, I will be traveling the world, becoming a professional wrestler. And then shortly thereafter, I will be called up by one of the major companies, and I will be a TV star. And sure, hey, listen, that is noble and that is amazing. And then there are some that do achieve it just as such. There are some people that achieve that without even going through that process, and good for them. You can't hate on them because that's just how the cards were dealt for them. But for the average individual, that's not how it goes. The the most of us, the chasing the dreams comes with a lot of sacrifice. You miss birthdays, you miss family gatherings, I've missed moments that I'll never get back. um, I've sacrificed fun, I've sacrificed comfort, my own happiness. I've given up so much of myself because I do believe that there is something bigger out there for a lot of us. And that internal battle is just, again, just never ending, and it is constant. And and then this is where I'm going into um my own personal one. So obviously, when I was in WWE, and I'm sorry, before WWE, on my first 4 years in California, my internal battle was, why aren't I not getting booked? If I'm in my head, I'm this individual who I think in my head I'm good at what I'm doing. I'm constantly being picked to do this and this and this and this. Why aren't am I not on, in certain cases like AWS, or why am I not on PWG? Why am I not on the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, when back then? Why am I not doing those? And right, because I'm so good at victimizing. I'm so good at self victimizing. And then if I always have to think to myself, like, was I giving my everything to it? Um, and there's a thought process now that is different than it was back then, because obviously now we do have mental health, and it's more prevalent and more out there, and more people are conscious of it. And that's awesome. I truly believe in it. But there's also a mindset that, and then I've been told, is toxic masculinity. I don't give a shit, it works for me. um where where sometimes I have to be truthful to myself, and I have to tell myself, stop being a bitch. uh you're not giving yourself all, you're not putting all of it. You're constantly making, and I tell this to myself, this especially back then. um you're constantly making excuses not to do this, you're constantly making excuses not to do that. This hurts, that hurts, or it does it, or you just being a little bitch. um are you tired? Yeah, okay, you're tired, but so is that guy. But he's still doing it, so he's going to get above you, he's going to get more ahead of you. Because that time that you're not at training, that time that you're not putting that effort, that time that you're not, messaging or going to these events to meet people, to network, that's time that they are, and then they're going to go and take that potential spot. um, and then and I tell my kids all the time too, that the one thing that I wish my trainer had told me back then was this idea of networking, and I didn't know anything of that. I was always told, keep your mouth shut and ears open. But I never went out and about and then met people. Um, my other circle of sobriety, it's the meeting after the meeting, and that's where you make those connections. But I never knew that. I wasn't aware of that. So when I try and tell my folks, my kids, this of like, go get out there, meet people, go and then network, be of service, be good, be helpful. Um, give everything that you have to this, because ultimately you're gonna get back what you put in. Um, but that's that. And I do feel that oftentimes we get into this mindset of like, well, I did this once. Okay, we'll do it again. Well, I did it twice. Okay, do it again. Do it again until you get a result, until you see a result. The Not so long ago, I just had this chat with somebody where we're discussing of whether or not they've improved. And I told this person, I was like, man, when I first saw you to where you are now, you may not see it, but a lot of us see that improvement. A lot of us see that progress that you've made. So it's kind of like going to the gym, right? You're not going to see it from one day to the next. You're not going to see it from one day to the next week. But when you look back at the now, and then you look well, let me backtrack. You look now at what you did now, and then you look back at, like, let's say a month or 2 months before, you're going to see that drastic change. So that you're not going to see it instantly, but you're going to see the progression move forward. And so yeah, so that's again, this is what I'm doing. That's why I keep notes. Uh, so, but yeah, but a lot of folks don't see the grind that goes into it, or they self victimize that they think they did what's enough or the bare minimum, and that's the key word. They do the bare minimum and expect the whole world to be given to them. They want the rewards, but they're not willing to put in the effort and the chase. There's a lot of folks that have spent years achieving a simple goal that some others were able to achieve it in less than that. I am beyond grateful that I got signed to WWE after 4 years of being on the indie scene. I'm grateful for that. I am fully aware that is a very rare occasion, and I'm fully aware that not everybody goes through that. I'm also very fully aware that I am in the very rare percentage of people that have been able to do that and have been able to perform at WrestleMania multiple times. I am in the very rare percentage of people that have this. I am a very rare percentage of people that still manage to have a life after WWE. Um, Very rare, and again, percentage that I've been very grateful that I was able to go to India, and I opened up a whole market over there with the help of Great Khali. Um, I got to try and open up a school in Egypt. I got to wrestle and then teach literally around the world. And I don't mean, hey, I went from here to England and I came back. Like, no, no, no. I mean around the world. And I understand that those are very rare occasions, and I'm the very rare percentage of people that can truly say that, and I'm very grateful for that. The problem is, though, well, the problem was that I didn't see it that way back then. Back then, I saw it as I'm doing this, so everybody should bow to me. Like, no, it's a matter of doing these things, being grateful for it, and then trying to help elevate those around you so that they can also achieve those things. Because ultimately, that's what we're here for. We're here for service, and we're here to give back. The whatever it is that we're here to to live through, we're able to pay forward, and that's through knowledge and the speaking ability, and then going and talking to these folks and saying, hey, don't do that because I went through the same thing and this is what happened. Or be careful. Or hey, try this because this is what worked for me. That's not to say that's going to work for you, but it's just something you should be consciously aware that, hey, I did this and it worked for me. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's totally fine too. Um, but yeah, and I was very thankful for all that. I did get to experience a lot of that by myself. I didn't have a partner. I didn't have a significant other. I had my friends and stuff that through social media were able to be there supportive. The people, but like my small little circle, I didn't have a lot of that. But now I'm grateful for that. Or let me backtrack. No, maybe I did have it, but because I was so just enthralled and self-victimizing, I didn't see that there were those people around me. Which ultimately, that's more likely what it was. I just wasn't lifting my head up to see that there were people that were there support me, and I just was so full of myself back then that I didn't see that there were people there. So so this is where I think a lot of that self doubt comes in because that support system for a lot of us doesn't exist, or slash we think it doesn't exist. Um, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that the times that this becomes very overwhelming. We just did the Red Rose Rumble, and Jesus Christ, that thing, that prep for that was the amount of wanting to give up and just saying fuck this was daily. Of why the fuck am I doing this to myself? Asking the kids to come to training, asking them to go fucking flyer, where the promos at from all the talent. Um, and then that idea was like, if they don't give a shit, why should I give a fuck? Right. So that's where again, like that self doubt just never ending again and again and again and again. I don't want to be chasing these motherfuckers. Um, because we're creating this for everybody. We're creating this for everybody to enjoy, but also for that same idea and the same concept. This is also for all of us to be a part of and put our own effort into it, so that we can all put it together. If there's something, and I say this all the time, never once I've ever called 3LW a family. Never once called it that. I called us a group, a team, a crew, because, and I've mentioned this before, families fight with each other, and families don't always have the same goal in mind, whereas teams do. Teams have the same mindset of where we're going, and we're going to work together to get there. And if somebody's not being functioning or functional to that team, then hey, we got to replace you, because we're trying to get somewhere, and we need all of us to be working together and to be wanting to work to that. So that's where that support system comes in. And one thing that I am proud of us here is that we're constantly trying to, improve ourselves, and we're trying to push ourselves to get better. Um, we're not, we don't try to hold each other down because of jealousy. And I know we want all of us to grow. So we try to support each other, even when people are wrong. Um, Letting go of that ego is crucial. Uh, because I'm very grateful um, that I understand that I don't know it all. I know I know quite a bit, but there are people that know way more than me, and I want to learn from them so that I'm able to pass that down. So having that support system here internally is so important. So having correcting somebody when they're wrong is, and constructively, is important. Um, does it always come off that way? No, I'll be honest, it doesn't. But we're here to try and improve everybody around us, because we all want to grow. We all want to get to that point. And chat that I just had earlier, that sometimes we do have to be selfish. That sometimes we do have to be stern. We have to be, put the foot down, if for the sake of all of us. And and this is again just having that, when everybody sees it, when everybody's transparent about it, and then like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Come on board with us. If we all work together, we can get there, because none of this is a single person effort. It's a multi-person effort. It's a whole team that puts us together in order to get to that point. A lot of us are tired. A lot of us are exhausted, but we're there for each other to try and support each other, to try and get us to that next point, whether it's your students, or your peer, your superiors, in some cases your significant other, in some cases, whatever, right? A friend. um, I'm very grateful for that those messages that I get like late at night, from specifically two people that they're like, hey, just, you're doing a great job. That means so goddamn much, um, because all this is very tiring. All this is so exhausting, that we're trying to get to a certain point in our careers. We all want to get to that next level. We want to get to the next show. We want to get to the TV. We want to get to this. We want to get to the video games. All that stuff. We all want that, but it takes time and effort. I've been very grateful that I got to experience, and I got to have it all in the world of professional wrestling, really, basically. But also for that same token, I also got to lose it all, and I lost all of it. But now that we're back in this, I'm starting again from experience. I'm not starting from scratch, and I'm able to try and recuperate some of that I lost, and a lot of it was because of my own fault. A lot of you guys already know about my substance abuse issues in the past, and um, the biggest turnaround in my life was getting clean and sober, um, straight up and honestly. The mindset changed, the drive got back, the rekindled. My therapist constantly tells me to stop calling myself stubborn, but hey, man, I call it stubborn, you call it ambitious, but they both work. They both work, and I love it though. um, because my stubbornness it refuses. It's me refusing to quit when it hurts, and this hurts a lot. It hurts the mental, it hurts the physical, it hurts the emotional, it hurts all of it. But I still keep pushing, and then the ambition is that fire that just constantly says, "This is what I'm meant to do, and this is what I want to do." The amount of times that I wanted to leave it and then just leave this all behind in the last 3 years has been more times than I've ever encountered in my entire professional wrestling career. But then life and the universe kind of sprinkles a little bit of hope of something that's about to happen. Uh, And it's always at that very last little bit of when I just want to throw in the towel and say, fuck this, that the universe just says, no, hold on, you're right where you're supposed to be. All right, this is part of it. This is part of your growth. This is part of your development. That experience that you just had was meant to teach you something, and it's up to you to see it. But because sometimes we get into that self victimizing or self victim mentality, that we just play, oh, woe is me, instead of saying, all right, so what is this meant to teach us? It's meant to toughen us up, and ultimately that's a big part of the game, is to toughen us up to be able to survive all the criticism, to survive all the things are that life throws at us, because life sometimes, and it sucks, and I get it. Um, but faith in the bigger picture, even when the faith is the bigger picture, right? It's having that hope, having that faith, because even when the present looks empty sometimes, uh, I know that there's something bigger out there for all of us, and and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. Uh, like what keeps me going when the stubbornness kicks in is the pure hard-headed stubbornness and ambition, the refusal to give up. Even when people laughed, even when people doubted, when my own reflection in the mirror just questioned me, um, I just keep pushing, because this dream and this passion is bigger than the pain, and that's what I keep telling myself. So get up, right? Keep pushing. Um, and I've asked this to people in the past too, like, what is making it look to you? What does that mean to you? So for some folks, it'll be the money. For some people, it'll be the fame. Um, what does it mean to you? And then that's something you guys can ask yourselves, like, what is making it mean to you? Um, a big part of our slogan is honor, tradition, and respect. And there's a big part of that I hold on to, and that's the respect aspect of it. Um, it's respect. It's about surviving in an industry long enough, um, to leave a mark and to prove that you belong. That's what I want to do. That I belong here, and more so is not so much to prove to other people, it's to prove to myself. Um, that's the ego to a degree, and I fully am with it. But I can honestly say that now at 39 years old, after 19 years in the wrestling industry, I can tell you that with huge pride and orgullo that I, Jesus Rodriguez, have made it. And it's not because there's a financial, gain to this, because there isn't, man. We're so every day we're pushing. We're constantly trying to get out there. We're trying to do ticket sales. We're trying to push our product. We're trying to get people to be knowledgeable of what we have. Because even here in Lancaster, there's still, when I go flyer, and I'm gonna go flyer in the morning. There's still people that don't know who we are, that we exist. Even earlier today, I was at the car shop. They saw me, they recognized me, but they had no clue that Three Legacies existed. And I even pointed at the poster that was at the store, and they didn't even acknowledge it, really. Um, so to anyone listening, just remember, um, your definition of success is yours, nobody else's. Don't let anybody tell you that making it should be like this. The journey will be hard. This will test you. It will also cost you a whole lot, a lot. It'll cost you gray hairs. It'll cost you a lot of stress, a lot of depression. It'll cost you a lot of financial stability, and it'll cost you a lot of relationships. It'll cost you a lot of friendships. It'll cost you a lot of time that you're gonna miss. It'll cost you a lot of effort. It'll cost you so much. But stay stubborn, stay ambitious, stay pushing. You'll find the best version of success that defines you. And yeah, be there for each other, help each other out, because ultimately I think a lot of this will always come back to you, your circle, that drive, that ambition, that stubbornness, and that support from all your friends and family. uh, Damas y Caballeros, that is all for today. I want to keep it short. Thank you for joining me, and until the next time, we will see you later. However, if you stuck around that long, I want to give a little something. I just remembered because I just saw it. So one of the projects that I've been working on for like a year or so was trading cards. I know I posted a preview not too long ago, and this is just a pilot sample. This is a sample. This is a sample. This is not what it's actually going to look like, but it's just something that I made just to see what it will look like. So, I mean, I know I showed everybody this already, but the front would have been something like that possibly. Again, this is just a yeah, a sample. But if it goes through, we're gonna make some trading cards hopefully soon. So, anyways, muchísimas gracias. Thank you guys so much, and until the next one, 3LWTix.com.